What's your biggest tip you've ever gotten?
Maybe like $100.
$100? This is $1,300.
No.
Yes, you can. It's Christmas. You got a baby coming, okay?
Here are some of the most heartwarming and inspirational moments where real-life superheroes were caught on camera. This elderly person had fallen off of their bicycle and landed on some train tracks. Luckily, there were many bystanders in the area and saved the man moments before a train passed. Now that is a real-life superhero. After hearing whining and odd noises from under their house, this lady decided to check what was hiding underneath.
No, this is way deeper.
You're good. I'll just pull you out if you get stuck.
To their surprise, they had found 5 puppies waiting for their mother to return. This is one of those fight or flight situations, and this dog owner is for sure a fighter, saving her dogs from a bear moments before disaster.
You are dead!
Working as a gymnastics teacher isn't as easy as it sounds. This worker had a split-second moment after their student had directed themselves the wrong way. This leopard had snuck its way behind the vehicle, waiting to pounce this clueless worker. Luckily, the nearby stray dogs weren't going to let anything happen. This man was spotted moving in their wheelchair without any assistance. That was until the camera panned behind the chair and a dog was spotted assisting the man in getting to his destination. This generous lady was the one who had paid for her son's school and his courses to follow his dreams. And as this lady was boarding a plane to return to her home country, she was greeted by an unexpected guest. It turns out he was able to be the one to fly her home that day. This worker had left their vehicle and done everything he could to save this family trapped in the middle of a flood. His generosity had earned the family's hearts that day. These workers had heard a man yelling for help after a serious flood swept over the village. Understanding it was a cry for help, these workers had gotten straight to work. These bystanders had gone out of their way to prevent further water from getting inside of this convertible. That driver may never know who did it, but I'm sure they are forever grateful. At first this may seem like an illegal activity, but once you see what was really going down, you will be rooting for this man. The owner of this vehicle had locked their dog in the car for over an hour.
where we
This incredibly
design,
generous man 3D
build,
prints
and
prosthetic arms and legs
printed
for
hands
children
and
who
arms
weren't
for
as
children.
lucky as
We
most
build
for
it
completely free.
children in any colors they want, any theme. Our arms are designed specifically to
If this
stand
isn't
out,
a real
to
superhero,
show off
then who
a child's
is?
personality.
This home had a very unique decoration on their roof of a man falling from the roof. One of the people walking by didn't realize it was a prop and instantly called the police for help. This young man had a love for one superhero and one hero only, that being Batman. Fortunately for him, he was able to meet the man himself. This homeless man was spotted sharing his food with a stray cat and keeping close to it on a cold night. These tourists were getting some photos of the area and had forgotten about the world around them. This ended up getting them stuck in the mud and needed help. Fortunately for them, their tour guide was experienced in these situations. These firefighters had rescued a cat from a fire, but the feline had inhaled too much smoke and needed immediate attention. Luckily, they were able to resuscitate the cat and keep it company as it came back to life. These kind men gave this old lady one of her childhood dreams to be able to skate. The look on her face shows the pure joy and thankfulness from that day. This group had come together to save a pup from the harsh waves of the river. These are some real heroes. After proposing to his fiancée, this man had one last thing he needed to do. His fiancée had a gifted brother who had such a close bond with the man, and when he was asked this question, his heart was filled with love and joy.
Hey Joe, you're the what? You are already the best bro, and also the best friend. So will you please say yes to be my best man? Love, Will.
What? We want to be my best man?
This elderly lady had misplaced her foot and slipped on the edge of the road. Luckily, one of the drivers was quick to jump out of their car and run to help the lady. This worker had picked up a bunch of people inside their bulldozer's mouth and transported them across places during a flood. If not for this worker, that cat may have lost one of its lives. Spotting it fall down the side of the tracks, he jumped into action and grabbed the cat before the train could take off. This brave person had stepped up during a fire to save someone who was left trapped multiple stories up inside the building. This lady was left stunned and anxious after she was pulled over without being able to think of a reason as to why. Turns out this cop had nothing but the best of intentions.
Police department and Secret Santa want to give you a little gift.
What? Oh my gosh! What?
A $100 bill.
This lady was working incredibly hard to make money for herself and her family, all while being pregnant. This man noticed this and came with a few friends to surprise her at work.
This is $1,300.
No.
Yes. Yes, you can. It's Christmas. You got a baby coming, okay?
These students had all come together to push this bus to its destination after it had broken down. If this doesn't show the kindness in people's hearts, then nothing will. This worker had driven their bulldozer into the river to save a family who had been trapped for a long time. If it wasn't for this man, who knows what would have happened. After noticing a stray cat desperately trying to get water from this tap, this lady helped out by twisting the valve to let more water out. This girl was a huge fan and made a sign just for them to tear it apart, and that is exactly what they did. These two dogs had broken the ice and gotten themselves stuck inside the freezing water. Luckily, their best friend wasn't going to leave them behind and jumped right back in to help them. This dog had gotten itself stuck and was too frightened to move. This brave resident decided to take things into their own hands. This worker had spotted two dogs clinging onto a small table and brought their vehicle to them, picking them up and saving them from the cold water. These bikers had come across an elderly lady trying to cross the road and got off their bikes to help. Now that is a real-life superhero. This driver had passed by, noticing a small car fire, and offered his fire extinguisher. This biker had helped clear a way for this ambulance to pass through. A small gesture like this could have saved multiple lives that day. Emergency services were taking longer than expected, so this group of people came together to save this man's life. These dogs were spotted holding onto a thin fence after high-level floods had hit this small village. Luckily, there were rescue teams in the area and acted as soon as they saw the pup. With the help of another young man, this team was able to save someone after they had gotten trapped in a narrow cave. Everyone was walking past this man looking for some shoes. That is everyone except for this guy. He gave up his day to bless the young man with new clothes, new shoes, and some hair treatment. Now that is a real-life superhero. This young girl who suffered from blindness was able to make her first shot in the hoop thanks to the school's hard work. Before even proposing to his girlfriend, he ran to her father for his blessings. This man's reaction shows just how much he had been waiting for this moment. This may look like any ordinary garbage dump, but just wait until you see what comes scurrying out of the dumpster. This skunk had gotten itself stuck inside the skate park. This kind man risked getting sprayed just to help it get free and let it go back to its home. Many people dream of being able to skate, but just aren't physically able to do so. Knowing this man put so much money and time into being able to give people the chance to follow their dreams. If this isn't a real superhero, then who is? This woman was expecting her food to be delivered, just not by a cop. The story behind this all is hilarious. This person wasn't going to be celebrating their birthday alone. The whole neighborhood came together to surprise him and give him a time he will never forget. After being stuck for who knows how long, someone finally passed this woman in a wheelchair and stopped to help her out. Who knows how long she has been there, but that man must have made her day. These elks didn't realize they were walking on thin ice until it had all collapsed and sent each and every one of them into the lake. A team had rushed to the area to save the elks before any serious damage had been done. This worker had heard some strange noises by the elevator and decided to check it out. Luckily, he was just in time to save this dog before anything serious could have happened. This vehicle had been attacked in a robbery attempt. Luckily for them, the windows were bulletproof. This guy had attended his first concert and won the hearts of the performers and the entire crowd, even being able to take a souvenir home that day.
Is this your first rock show? It is.
This baby squirrel had been sitting in the road for who knows how long. Luckily, a driver was concerned for the little guy and helped redirect it to a safer location. This ambulance was being blocked in traffic by a bunch of cones. Luckily, the drivers noticed the situation and jumped up to help the workers pass through. These bystanders had helped the drivers navigate the icy roads and prevented any crashes from happening. This girl had come from the dark and joined a group of people. It turns out she had been followed by an unknown man and looked for help the second she had the chance. If it was not for this man, who knows what could have happened. This pitch invader was a lot smaller than people thought, so rather than chasing them off, they decided to give the little guy something to remember and played around with them.
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am. I'm fast as boy. I'm fast as boy.
This biker has a kind heart and got up to help this lady cross the street. Small things like these really do show the best in people. The Australian wildfires were so extreme, it had damaged and even destroyed countless homes to nature. Volunteers had put themselves out there to help calm and provide for many animals that were affected by the fires. These drug squad members had dressed up as superheroes during one of their drug busts and saved the day in their own unique way. This dog had been found trapped in an uncomfortable position. Luckily, the homeowners noticed before anything serious had come from it. These workers were caught out in the rain and had no shelter. The person operating the excavator picked up a large wooden sheet and held it above the workers.